Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advance. And this game was played in St. Louis Chess Club, and we have the Grand Chess Tour there. So this game is played with the this is rapid section. This is the fourth round. This is the first round of today, and this game is played with the white pieces. We have Sam Shankland, a very strong grandmaster, and with the black pieces we have the current reigning world champion Gukesh Domaraju. So this game is going to be a very epic game, and it features such a beautiful line, so many tactical tactical shots. You're absolutely going to adore this. I'm excited to show you this. I hope you are too. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Here just e4, d6, d4, knight to f6, and knight to c3, e5, and immediately striking in the center. It's called the perk defense, or well, if you capture here, then you could try and go for this. I mean, but it's just very difficult. Knight to f3, knight bd7, rook to g1, but just c6, g4, and now just h6. I don't think going for this. I think it's definitely pure preparation, because no one would definitely want to go for this, and I've never seen actually Gukesh go for this in any of his games. But I think this is something he prepared specifically for this tournament. So let's see how that goes. Bishop to e3, but now just going for this b5, a3, but now queen to c7 and queen to d2. From the beginning itself, Gukesh's position is not looking good. I mean, you can understand moves like this. If you capture, then this capture becomes a very nice possibility. Although you could somehow maybe just sacrifice that pawn and maybe try and hope for the best. But again, then not a good position to have. E captures was played by Gukesh, knight captures, and now just comes this knight to e5, and the position is just very bad. The idea that was was that if you capture here on if you play a move like f4, then just knight captures, and maybe you have something in this position. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all. The idea behind that, why this knight captures does not work, is actually very amazing, because knight captures on c6 and you cannot capture. If you capture, then just bishop captures on b5 and your queen is pinned. You're gonna lose queen. But here after a6 you could actually go for that, but now this is a very disgusting engine line, by the way. Bishop to d4. Now you can actually capture it, but your position is still worse. Queen captures on c6, a queenside castle, bishop to e7, but now you go for this very nice bishop to g2, exploring all the options of e5. But here after this queen to c4, now you get this e5 nonetheless. D captures, E captures, is attacking the right knight moves and still not capturing, because well, you have a very nice thing here. b3, queen goes back, and now you cannot capture, because if you capture now, then this rule, whenever you castle kingside, everyone tells you just play a prophylactic move, because now this is coming, and there is not much defense in this defensive resource either, because if you go for this, then this bishop captures and you're losing much worse. King to b1, so now, but just rook to b8, rook moves, but you have thankfully bishop to d5, queen moves h3, and now once you go for bishop to g5, queen moves, and now ideas of e6 becomes absolute possibility. Bishop to knight to f4, but now just this very nice attacking on the queen, and now you have to get your not working piece bishop to f5 with blocking, but just rook caps on g3. You cannot capture the rook because your queen would be hanging. Castles now looks scary, but it works. h4, and now what do? You play queen to e6, because now I can actually capture, and if you decide to go for bishop captures, queen captures, then your rook would be hanging, so you would have to move the rook. I would get a tempo and I would save the bishop. Rook to g1, b4, a captures, but just bishop to e7, and now your position is just I think white's position is just very good, because you have to understand these bishop pair are amazing. The rook is already eyeing this, the queen can jump in at any moment, and it looks like you've castled here, bishop is already eyeing. This is also a possibility, but none of that is actually going to work as long as the knight is there. So everything is absolutely well, and this position would actually result in Gukesh's loss, and he realized this. I mean, not completely, but you have to understand that knight captures on c6 is just a small pitch, a small like a tip of the iceberg kind of thing. You'd never know what's coming underneath, so you don't want to calculate everything in a rapid game, but you understand that what's going to happen to you is going to be much worse. So here after f4 we have knight to c4. This is the only good move in this worse position, but now just it comes with a tempo. So bishop captures, pawn captures, and now you can just castle queenside. Your position is absolutely amazing, but there is an even better move in this position if you're able to find it. So pause the video and try and find out this beautiful tactic in this position while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is this beautiful e5. I've told you many single times, Mikhail Tal has told you many single times, whenever you see a king in the center, or even Divya Deshmukh has told you many single times, whenever you see a king in the center, always listen to these magicians. always attack. Try to sacrifice as much as possible. Sacrifice is the idea. D captures, F captures, but now just knight to d5. You might seem like, what is there in this position? There is no attack happening, but it is. Knight captures, C captures, and you have knight to b5. Now where do you move the queen? If you move the queen to d8, well, there is a very beautiful tactic. Queen captures. Now if you capture here, just this and well, your position is absolutely lost. I'm just going to castle queenside. There's going to be a lot of the things that's going to go wrong. I've just won a free pawn, and thank you very much, and I'm just going to move forward and win the game. So and if you decide to go for the other way, like if you decide to castle now, then you could just bishop here, and just after this you cannot even capture. If you capture, then after captures I just capture here. Sorry, not now. If you're greedy, then I just capture here. There is no castling. Your king is remaining in the center. All these rooks are just going to come up, and your position is absolutely going to be hopeless. So very insane possibilities that exist for white in this position, and white is just so much better. It's absolutely insane. In none of the lines actually black survive. Knight to f5, but knight to f5 is such a beautiful move, and you might be thinking like, this is a very nice piece for white. Why don't I just eliminate it for this weak bishop that I have? Well, if you dare to do so, then we have g captures, castles, d5, trying to get some activity. Also the queen is there, so you might be able to get some exchanges in, which would actually benefit you, because simply because of the fact that you're worse. But queen to g2, and now knight captures on e4. Knight captures, but now you get rook to e8, not capturing it right away. f6, but now g6. Queen to s3 check. Queen to d7 blocking. Queen captures, king captures, and just knight to c5 check. King moves, and now you might be thinking that you might be getting this, but just bishop moves. And if you're thinking about this, just trying to get this with a check, this moves. And now if you capture, you're at a worse pawn structure. You're just a piece down in a completely losing position. You're not surviving this game. But after knight to f5, rook to b8 was played by Gukesh, and no, thankfully not going for that. Position would have absolutely crumbled. But this, with the idea that the queen would jump in, rook would just sacrifice. If you castle here, you might have some attacking chances. Well, he was right, but not completely, because bishop to d4, bishop to e6, e5, d captures, bishop captures, queen to b6, everything going as planned. Bishop to d4, but you have to understand everything is pointing right here, so why would anyone dare to castle queenside? But queen to a5, and Sam Shankland, crazy as he is in calculations and not in real life, he goes for queenside castle, because there is nothing in this position that you can do to try and actually mate you or do something here. But in this position, Gukesh thought there was something. He was seeing ghosts. He goes for rook captures on b2, and now the position is so rich, so rich. All you have to do is get the queen here on this diagonal. So first thing that comes to your mind, absolutely right, bishop captures on f6. Now you realize that the queen's full potential is, well, amazingly well. Knight is covering a lot of squares, so there is a lot of mating ideas, mating nets in this position. G captures, and now there's a very beautiful line in this sequence, knight to e4. And now you might be thinking, why are you asking for a queen trade in the middle of an attack? I thought we were going for mating. We are, but this is the best way to go for it. Queen captures on d2, rook captures, bishop captures, but now just come king captures, bishop captures on e4, rook to e1, f5, g captures, and now just you're going to win that piece. You're a complete exchange up, and slowly but surely your position is absolutely going to improve. You're going to go after other pawns. You're an exchange up, you're a pawn up. It's a completely winning position for you. Completely winning endgame, and I think if Sam had went for this, completely winning, no issues. But rook rook to e1, and now you have to understand there's a very beautiful tactic. Rook to d7 would be checkmate. So here rook goes back trying to defend, but just knight to d6 check. Bishop captures, queen captures, and now here just trying to go for some ideas, but there nothing exists. You could even go for rook to d2, trying to make some room for your king. Queen to b2 check, king to d1, and queen to b6, but now just comes this f5. Position is absolutely hopeless. Queen to c7, not capturing with this, but now capturing with this, and trying to just defend this. Also, doing it with the check as well. F captures, queen blocks, but this check, and now once the king moves, just grabbing that rook, and the position is just absolutely hopeless. You're complete piece down, completely losing. But that's exactly what happened in this game as well. We have rook captures on e6 with a check, f captures, queen captures, and now the same thing, but with a different order. We have queen to e3 check, and now don't even dare to think about capturing that piece, because if you do queen captures on c3, then just queen to h7 check, king moves, rook to d8 check, and just slowly you're just getting checkmated. So not to go for any of this, but here queen captures on f4, still keeping that pin alive. Queen to h7 check was played by a Sam Shankland, but just king to f8. queen to f5, rook to e1 check, and now just blocking with, but now trading everything. This position is completely hopeless, but both players are 1.5 minutes, so maybe just Gukesh is trying to actually go for flagging him, but it's not going to work. King to e7, king to b2, rook to e5, trying to go for this pawn, but just defending it. King to d6, knight to c3, rook to e3, and now just going for this rook to f4, king to e5, and slowly you can see that there is just no hope in this position. This position is absolutely dead. Gukesh is trying to hold on to the hope, but it's just not going to work. f4, rook to g8, rook to e2, h3. Now there is nothing. You can just get the knight and capture all those pawns, and it still would be winning. King to d2, but just rook to h1, rook to knight to f2, rook to f1, knight to e4, rook to a1. Now trying to go after the a pawn. Rook caps on a3, rook caps on f4, rook caps on h3. But a very beautiful tactic that you have to every time understand whenever you're in a situation like this and you're low on the clock. The best thing to do is cut off the black king. Now the black king cannot go any of these places. You can try and attack, but just rook goes back, and all I'm going to do is just come here, gobble up these pawns, and slowly push my pawns towards victory, and there's nothing you can do. Rook to d4, rook to e6, rook to h4, but now just king to b2, rook to g4, rook caps on c6, king to e3, rook to d6, rook to g8, knight to d5 check, king to e2, but just king to c3, rook to g4, rook to e6 check, and there is nothing you can do in this position. We have rook to f2, king to f2, but just knight to b6 was played. Now you're losing this pawn. You could sacrifice this, but absolutely losing, so there's no point. And it was on this move, on move 62, that Gukesh Tomaraju resigned the game, and Sam Shankland got this spectacular victory in just 62 moves against the reigning world champion. Absolutely best. And unfortunately for Sam Shankland, this is his first victory in this tournament, so he's not having a great tournament. But unfortunately for Gukesh as well, that the first victory came at the expense of him playing against him. So now Gukesh is not at the third place as he was. He's now at the sixth place. Now he has to bounce back against stronger opponents, and it's absolutely going to be insane. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you all.